Well, hello pilots. Today we're going to talk about assault ships. I happen to be an assault ship pilot myself, so I thought I'd make this little video to talk about these little beauties here that you'll find in Warzone. My favorite fighter is the Wraith, mainly because it's kind of the most basic of the assault ships. It's got fixed forward firing guns. They used to be called Gatling guns. I think they're called assault cannons now, but basically the same thing. So yeah, I'd like to give you a few tips on how to get started with your assault ship.
Capture and hold the relay stations to assert dominance on the
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is make sure you get yourself familiar with your cockpit. It seems like a pretty obvious thing, but a lot of people don't know a lot about what's in the cockpit, so let's have a little bit of a look here. So you've got these two bars vertically right in front of you. The one on the left is your armor, so that's your overall health that doesn't replenish itself, and the one on the left is your shield, so that will regenerate itself over time. So there's some mods that you can apply in the tech tree for each ship that kind of fiddle with the values of these, but basically every ship has these shield and armor values. You'll see that I lost a little bit of shield in that last encounter, but it's already back because my shields replenish themselves. So another important aspect of your cockpit is the radar. Radar is this big globe in front of you. So what it does is it shows you any ship that's within approximately 2 kilometers of you. So your position's represented by the dot right in the center of that, kind of at the axis of those two lines. It's like XY axis there. So you'll be able to tell if anybody is above you, below you, left or the right of you. So of course enemy ships are represented by orange triangles, blue triangles represent friendly ships, and little tiny yellow triangles are representing missiles that are locked onto you. So it gives you an idea of how you might be able to dodge those missiles. If you're able to interpret that radar, you're going to be in a position ahead of any pilot who does not use these tools. Okay, so the other thing you want to look at is, see down there on the left, beside the radar, is my capacitor meter. It's a little bit of an arc, it's going up right now, as that recharges. So the capacitor is really important, because that's what allows you to keep moving fast and to use your boost. The base speed of most ships is pretty slow. So when you are able to boost, you can make yourself a harder target to hit, and generally live longer as a result. To the right of that arc, there's like a multi-bar kind of display, and that's your ship's speed. So you can see that it goes up and down as you're boosting and braking. An assault ship, speed is life, so you want to try to do what you can to keep your speed up. And keeping an eye on your capacitor is going to help you to do that. Next thing I want to talk about is the weapons on your ship. So each ship's weapons are a little bit different. You've got the Wraith with its forward-firing assault cannons, very good at putting out a lot of damage if you can aim. The other weapons that the Wraith has are missiles, so make sure that you are going to hit when you fire your missiles, because if you fire them like that at very close range, they pack a nasty punch. Very good for handling heavy ships and other ships that have a lot of DPS on them. So be aware that different assault ships have different kinds of missiles. The Strix has 7 missiles compared to the 5 on the Wraith. So there's a Strix firing 7 missiles, which I can counter with ECM. And those missiles are very slow tracking. The Wraiths are kind of medium tracking, medium speed missiles. You want to be close to use them, make sure that you're going to hit. So I'm going to try to get up close to this bot before I fire my missiles. And then the Uri has 3 missiles that track very fast and move very fast. So they also reload faster than missiles in other ships. And then the Jackal has no missiles at all. But it's got its secondary weapons are kind of forward firing blasts of its shotgun type weapon. Very powerful. So yeah, learn your ship's weapons, learn the secondary weapons and the primary weapons, and how to use them most effectively. It's really important not to forget to roll. So that's my next tip is don't forget to roll. Because when you roll left, you can roll right. You allow yourself to have much finer control over which spaces you can fit through. And following enemies when they are maneuvering to avoid you. My next tip would be don't give up on your enemies. If you've picked a fight with somebody, make sure you finish it. Of course, there may be situations where you have to forget about someone because maybe someone else is attacking you and you're more concerned about getting killed by that person. But typically you gotta finish the fight because your enemy's not going to forget about you. If you start picking a fight with multiple people at once and you haven't killed them, then all of a sudden you'll have 5 or 6 people chasing you, and that's a good way to lose. So make sure you shoot people till they're dead. So I'd like to talk about capacitor management. So remember your capacitor indicator is shown there on the left of your radar. It's a sort of an arc. It fills up and it gets depleted according to how much you use your boost. So on an assault ship, this is really important to keep track of because speed is super important for assault ships. The more you can keep your speed up, the longer you're going to live. The more you can control your speed, the more you can maneuver in ways that make you hard to hit as well. You can keep up with enemies that are fleeing from you, and you can build a lead on enemies who are chasing you. So manage your capacitor carefully. And when I say manage your capacitor, I mean try not to run out of it. When you run out of it, you become kind of dead in the water. Much easier to shoot, much easier to kill. So, if at all possible, you can find a quiet place where you can recharge. So, you know, I like to try to get away in some quiet corner where I can basically hold the brake. And as you hold the brake, you can see the capacitor goes up. So another thing that's really useful is your comms wheel. So in this game, even if you're not in a squad, you can send messages to other people on your team using the comms wheel. So you bring that up. The key will depend on what kind of control scheme you're using. You can see you've got a bunch of options here and you can select them. So it's really great for being able to ask for healing or direct people to a specific point. Make sure you use that, and someone helps you, make sure you say thanks. The next thing I want to talk about is dying. In this game, dying is not such a big deal. You know, you basically get unlimited ships that you can fly with, so don't worry about it. You're gonna die. There are going to be pilots out there who kill you, whether it's by ganging up on you, or by out-piloting you, or even by you doing something dumb that makes you kill yourself. Hitting rocks or structures or warping into stuff, you know, just to get used to the fact that you're gonna die. And the last point I want to give you is get involved with the community.
Clear up the stragglers.
The community around this game is awesome. There are a lot of really high-level pilots who are very skilled, been playing this game for a long time, many months, even multiple years. And everyone's really willing to lend a hand, so get involved in either the forums. The official Valkyrie forums are really lively and a great place to meet people and pick up tips. And also the unofficial community Discord, the Valkyrie Discord. I'll provide a link for that in the video. But that's another great way to get to know people. You can squad up, you can talk to people, you can give people props after games. You know, it's a really great way to connect. So, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you out in space.
You left big